What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Adrian. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the Solomon Kane omnibus from Marvel Comics. And if you guys like righteous warriors of God who destroy and go out hunting supernatural monsters, you guys are going to love this book. Alright, so let's get started. So here we have the front cover. You see Solomon Kane. You have him on the cover right there fighting some kind of like little like vampiric type monsters or harpies right there. This is the spine, as you guys can see right there. You got Solomon Kane, Marvel Comics, and the writers down here. And on the back, we got all the issues that are going to be in this omnibus, everything that's collected in here. So that's pretty neat. Alright, take off the dust jacket right here. And as you can see, the front is the same, of course, without the words. The spine is exactly the same, and on the back, as you guys saw, Solomon Kane right there saving some girl, fighting a gorilla. So pretty nice hardcover, pretty good. All the covers on the back, front, spine, and the back. All right, let's get this book open and see what. All right, you guys, here we are with a closer look at the book. Front cover. Turn it open. Got like this red page. Right here, the first page, we got the actual credits. We got Robert E. Howard, Solomon Kane. Yes, Robert E. Howard did create Solomon Kane, just like he created Conan. Basically, they're kind of the same in the kind of way. They're both wanderers, you know. I guess he really likes his wanderers, but unlike Conan, he's not from ancient times, you know. He's more from like Elizabethan times. So there's that. And so right here we got the writers, got the pencilers, inkers, colorists. So just the credits of everybody that made this book and made this book happen. Right here we have the table of contents. You can see every issue that is collected in this book. The cool artwork that was on the back of the book right there. Right here we got a kind of like introduction. We got a cool artwork right here of Solomon Kane, the Puritan warrior. So yeah, I guess he is a Puritan, so he's a man of God, fighting off like demons, monsters, and all that stuff. So really neat. It's kind of like Van Helsing in a kind of way. I got more introduction type stuff right here. We got this guy in this crazy skull costume. Here we have the first story. And most of these stories are in black and white just because they are older stories. All the comics right here are collected from, you know, comics back in the day. So there's that. I don't know when. I want to say like, you know, 1960s, 70s, around there. So that's why it's all in black and white. But, you know, the art is still nice. I mean, look at this. So we got this first story right here. He's basically like in like the swamplands. He runs into this big like demon type creature and he tries to fight him. And the creature goes up against him, but he like his weapons, he doesn't seem to be doing any damage, and he wonders why. And you know, the creature is like the spirit of some guy that died there, and he's not like gonna be satisfied until he kills the guy that, you know, sent him to die out there. And then later you see that Solomon Kane, you know, finds him, and then they bring him to the tree, and they basically, you know, they basically kind of like sacrifice the guy to like this demon guy. And you know, it's not like bad or anything because the guy was like a bad dude. So he takes him with him and the ghost disappears. So it was a really pretty cool story. It's a cool like intro story to this book. Got some cover pages right here. Got Christopher Lee's Dracula. It's pretty neat. He does fight Dracula right here, and that story kind of reminds me of, you know, like the movie Van Helsing and stuff like that, which, you know, I think they got that movie from Solomon Kane, so it's like they kind of like copied each other. So it's pretty neat. Cool artwork right here on the left side, fighting off some wolves. You guys can see. This is where he's fighting wolves, and then Dracula saves his life. And he thanks him. It's like, thanks for saving my life. He takes him to the castle, you know, treats him to a good time. Here you have like the classic, you know, in every classic Dracula story, some lady comes into his bedchamber, tries to like drain him of his blood. He fights back. fights her off of him. And then he sees that Dracula's not a good dude, that he's actually the master of the vampires. So he fights him. And then down here, he's going to deliver the final blow. But Dracula reminds him that he saved his life. And Solomon Kane has to honor it. I don't know why, but he does, because he's a man of honor. He's like, oh, dang, you saved my life. I guess I'll let you go. But then he says it's like a burden to him. Like every life that Dracula takes afterwards is like a burden to him. So like he's going to like find him later and then deal the death blow. But here we got more stories, more cool black and white art. Oh, this guy right here, this is Nalanga. He's a kind of like a tribesman he meets while wandering Africa. He kind of gets like beat up, or like, yeah, he gets like hit, and he gets like dragged and put in like prison in this like tribal village. And Nalanga there is like right there with him, and he helps him, gives him like this juju staff, which is like this magic staff. At first he doesn't take it because he thinks it's like a pagan, like pagan witch doctor type of like magic stuff, and he's not for that. But later on you learn that the staff is actually like has been used by Moses and King Solomon from the Bible and stuff like that, so he like kind of takes it with him. Yeah, so here we have another cool story. I think this one's about a werewolf. Pretty neat. So we do have color stories in here as well. This one is pretty neat. This one where he goes to fight some Frenchman who killed this lady down the road, and he just left her there. And he finds her, and he basically says, what happened to you? And the lady says that this guy killed him. And then she's like dying. So he basically says he'll avenge her. And he goes off and tries to find this guy that killed her and take vengeance for her on him. That was a pretty good story. This one right here. Again, cool artwork right there with this hat, sword. This is a good story. The story is about a guy who has like hooved like goat feet, and he basically wants to like sacrifice like virgin women to the devil, and he's gonna like sacrifice like virgin women to the devil like each year until like for so many years until he gets his feet back. Kind of a dumb deal if you ask me. The devil never honors his deals. So there's that story. Again, cool artwork. So right here we have like there's like I think these are one of like the poems. There's like poems in this book too, and they kind of like do comics based on those, so that's pretty neat. Retribution in Blood, new story. Oh, I think this is the one where, yeah, this is the one where he like comes back to like face Dracula, and this is a really cool story. It's very classic, old Dracula type movies. Finds this girl, her whole family's been taken by Dracula. It started with her sister, then her dad left to face him, and then her mother like disappeared, and she was left like tending the church, and that's how he meets her. He goes into the church, and he's like, whoa, what's going on here? No woman's supposed to be leading the church, basically back in those days. But she basically tells him why she's doing it, and then he helps her like go to Dracula's castle and try to find the rest of her family. This is a really good story. I really dig this one. And cool artwork. You got skulls. Got a big skull in the background right there. With Solomon Kane right there with his rapier and his pistol. And cool artwork. Cool artwork. I like these covers. They're pretty nice. So we can do this book. And just look at all that detail, like in black and white. Pretty nice. Like, so towards the later end of the book, you do have more stories in color. And these stories right here, I guess they were done at a later time, right? Because like the stories in the beginning of the book, I guess were done earlier. These were done a little later, probably like I'm guessing like the 80s or 70s around there. and they basically retell like stories from the beginning of the book. So they'll be the same stories, but just in color, and they'll be a little different. You know, there'll be like a little bit more context to them, you know, a little bit more extra stuff, but they do just like recollect it, and it's pretty cool, you know, to see like the earlier form of the same comic and then the later form again, like in color. So that's pretty neat. This is the Leloup guy who killed the lady on the road that I was telling you about. Nalanga, witch doctor, where he like freaks him out because he comes back to life. This is a good story about a werewolf, a father and his son and his wife. Good story. I recommend that one. This one was more, he's like a pirate. And he has to like hunt down one of his old crewmates. Sorry about that. Camera turned off. Here we are. This is The Hills of the Dead. This is also a good story where he has to fight like a whole bunch of vampires. Actually, what's interesting right here is that he travels Africa, right? So right here he's basically telling you all his wanderings, what he's seen, you know, like the lions, the people he's met, you know, the enemies he's faced, you know, slaves and stuff. And he says, this one's really interesting, where he says, he goes, I've even glimpsed what I believe to be a legendary dragon in the midst of some, you know, forgotten valley. And I thought that was pretty cool, because you know how they say like in Africa there's like dinosaurs that are hidden from like the world and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty neat. Story. This is where he meets, well, actually, no, this is like the second story with Nalanga. You know, he becomes like his friend. And he basically helps him like in his adventures. Right here, like Nalanga's conjuring up a whole bunch of like vultures and stuff. Because vultures eat the dead. And these guys are all like vampires, like zombie type of creatures. So that's pretty cool. Nice cover art right here for these issues. I really like this like fantasy like type of art right here. You know, it reminds me of those old like Conan covers. Oh, this is a cool one. This one I think is like basically for the front cover of the book, where he has to fight like a whole bunch of like these crazy little winged demons right here. This one is in the beginning of the book too. There's like the same story but done earlier, right? And I like that one more because there's more to the story. There's a little bit more. I think this one ends too short, but it's also, you know, it's still really good, you know. And then this one's in color while the other one was in black and white. But the other one gave a little bit more extra stuff to the story. We have the Savage Sword of Conan, and Conan and Solomon Kane do meet in this omnibus, so that's pretty cool. Where they like come in contact, where they travel through like time to like this specific time, and they help each other out. That was pretty neat. I think this is the story. Yeah, so this is the story right here. You have Conan. Seeing they both come to like this temple right here. Conan in the past, Solomon Kane like in the future. And something happens where they like go to like a different timeline. It has to do with this skull right here. And they meet up. I think it's right here. This is where they fight each other for the first time. Yeah, right here. And there's a pretty good like interaction between the two. You know, Solomon Kane is now older in this story, and Conan is really young, and they're fighting, and Conan's surprised that the old guy knows like that can keep up with him and fight, and then Solomon Kane's like surprised that, you know, that this guy's really strong. He's never faced, you know, a strong enemy like him before, so it's pretty neat. And got more right here. Again, cool artwork for it being black and white, right? And then that ends, you know, the omnibus right here with this Solomon Kane and Conan story. And I don't know if we have any extras towards the back. Check to see. Oh, we do got some. No, it's mostly just stories. These are all the extras right here. Basically the cover on the front and back of the book. You guys see it right here. And then this last page right there. So you guys, that was the Solomon Kane omnibus from Marvel Comics, collecting the original Marvel years and all that good stuff. If you guys did like it, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. God bless you guys. Bye.